I'm an Ecuadorian American and restaurateur, chef. Boom. Both of my parents immigrated from Ecuador in the late 1960s to Chicago. I was born there, grew up in a Ecuadorian American household, really trying to assimilate to my new country, or my parents' new country. My journey in food started at a young age. My mom and my grandma were fantastic cooks. My grandma used to come visit from Ecuador, and she would make all these Ecuadorian staples, and I was just in the kitchen with them, being their sous chef. I've always loved food. What can I say? I ended up going to cooking school, Kendall College in Chicago, and that's where I discovered that I actually had a cooking talent. Didn't know. I went as a vocation, as a trade, to really just, make ends meet, get a job, and discovered that I had a passion for ingredients, for putting ingredients together, for cooking in general. So when I started cooking and I went to culinary school, I was French classically trained. So I was taught all the ingredients and cooking techniques from France. Then I went to Spain and I was cooking there. I learned obviously Spanish ingredients and culture. Came back to the US and was cooking really American regional cuisine. I realized at an early age that working in the hospitality and restaurant industry was going to be a tough slog. I had the good fortune of working for an entrepreneur, a restaurateur here in Philadelphia, Steven Starr, who taught me a lot about the intricacies of running a business, an organization, and really what it was like to be entrepreneurial. So at a certain point, after a few years, I clicked in like, hey, why should I do this for somebody else when I could do it for myself? And so I thought, this is a good time. I looked around the marketplace and I've realized that there wasn't a lot of Latin American chefs that were really making names for themselves. And so I looked to my heritage, I looked to my Latin heritage as a guiding light for me professionally, to continue to grow and learn and teach. And I came to Philadelphia in 2000 to open Alma de Cuba and Alves with the Star Restaurant Group. And eventually I opened Amada in 2005, which was my first restaurant, and kind of really a lot of things took off from there. Those experiences and learning about different cultures and different cuisines are what have driven me. And those experiences most times get translated into new concepts. And so I've always looked at as my job as a kind of food curator and someone who can translate cultures through food to our marketplace. In this case, Philadelphia.